What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris, this is 4K Motoring, and today we've got our first modification we're doing to our Moto Morini X-Cape 650. This is a 2023 year model, brand new to us, has about 250 miles on it so far. I will have a full review video coming out right about the time I hit 1,000 miles, but for now, we're gonna make the first major upgrade that I think this bike requires. So in my hand is a bag of spare parts from Moto Morini. This is the heat shields for the X-Cape 650. Now, if you guys have seen anything about the 2025 X-Cape 700 that's coming out with a little power bump, they fixed a lot of the little issues with the 650. This is one of them. It's just a 650, it's just pushing out 60 horsepower. It's not a big motor, it's not pumping out a lot of heat, but the radiator pumps air directly through the engine, through the top of the engine, and directly onto your legs and kind of cooks you. And in North Carolina, I haven't even ridden it in hot, like 100-degree days yet, and still it is very uncomfortable. So one of the accessories offered by Moto Morini are these heat shields that basically block this area off. For a set of this, for the right and left side, it was $28, which is very reasonable, and I think what a lot of other manufacturers should catch on to. Just got a new windshield for the BMW F800, and that was $300. $28 was a whole lot better than $300. So let's go ahead and get this mounted up. I don't think it is very complicated to install. We do have these crash guards, lower crash guards and upper crash guards installed from the factory because this is the SE model, but we're gonna go ahead and see how these fit in, see the quality, and hopefully make this a pretty quick installation. So I've already taken the time to install the left side guards just to make sure I could understand how to do it and give you guys the best advice possible. What I'll tell you is that this kit, although it's only $28, it comes with no instructions. So hopefully this video will be what you need to install this part. Now, what you have here is a couple mounting locations. You've got this spot right back here you're going to put a rubber grommet into. There's just a plastic pin that pushes into that one. And these bolts here, there's kind of a triangle right in front of the frame. And with the guard already, there's 2 bolts in it, so you already have those. If not, there are some extra bolts in this kit to be able to put in these 2 spots here. We're going to be reusing that mounting location. What we're going to do first is take the seat off so we can get to some of these body panels. The rear seat comes off with a key. There are 2 10mm bolts that hold the driver's seat down. That is one of the things I don't like about this bike, is that any seat at any point is held down by bolts, that you can't remove it just by hand. And I think that's kind of an oversight. If you have the one-piece seat, it's not a problem. It goes right to that key latch, but there is no way to just remove without tools the driver's seat. Next, you're going to go to this bolt right here. It's the exact same 10mm bolt. This is going to hold this side panel tight. We're going to go ahead and pull that off. Just a little short 10mm. That allows the side panel to flex a little bit, makes it a little bit easier to get in here. And then we're going to go ahead with our install. We have our part right here. This one says R for right. There's one that says L for left, just to keep that in mind. So right side of the bike. It's got these scallops on the bottom that go where these bars are. So it's going to go kind of in and up like that. On the back, it comes with a heat shield, adhesive heat shield that we're going to stick down. Basically, just like that. Remove the adhesive on the back and press it down so it's just like that. We're going to go ahead, stick this little rubber grommet right in this hole, right up here on the frame. That's going to get pushed in there. We're going to take this mounting bracket and install it just like this. You can see the orientation. That's how it's going to sit. It has the 2 bolt holes that will poke right through. And for that, it comes with a bunch of bolts. What I used are these shorter bolts. They have a 5mm hex on this side and a 10mm nut on the back, and they mount these 2 pieces together. So let's go ahead and do that. Make sure the part is clean. Use some alcohol if you need to make sure that it adheres correctly. You're going to peel the backing off after test fitting it to know where it's going to go. And you're going to go ahead and install this. This should be heat reflective, has a little bit of rubberized backing, so hopefully it provides a little bit of heat insulation as well as just deflecting the hot air from us. Okay, now that that's in, we're gonna go ahead and mount our little bracket to this. We're gonna go ahead and mount this. We're gonna keep this so the bracket angles out towards the front. You can see that little curve that's in it. We want it to sit just like that. We're gonna put our little bolts through. There we go, attach the 10mm nut to the back of it. All right, like I said, 5mm hex in the front, 10mm bolt in the back. Go ahead and cinch these down. All right, with that magically snugged down, you can see how the threads are remaining. We're gonna go ahead and prep the bike. We're gonna go ahead and put our rubber grommet in, and we're gonna pull these top 2 bolts out entirely. That way it'll just pop right in. This grommet has a wide side and a thin side. Wide side will stay out, and you're just gonna get a corner in. This is rubber, so you can just flex it. There you go, till it is fully seated. Now we're gonna go ahead and just pull out these 2 bolts. Again, 5mm hex. This is a Chinese bike. I'm not saying that these are weak fasteners, weaker than any other brand. I'm just saying make sure you have your hex wrench fully seated before you start turning it. There's a little bit of thread locker, I believe, on these. You don't want to strip them out. So this is the installation part. This is the little pin that we want to locate into that little grommet that we installed. So we're gonna go ahead first and flex this out since we took that bolt out and get this pin to line up in that grommet. Once that's in, it'll be pretty snug and secure. You can wall it back and forth, but this is tight in there. We're gonna locate our front 2 pins, our front 2 little cutouts, and reinstall our bolts. If you don't have those, you can use these 5mm that came with the kit, but they won't clear with the crash guards. So we're gonna go ahead and reinsert. If you have a little thread locker, probably not a bad idea to push back on them. Now I know this is a Chinese built bike, Italian designed with a Japanese origin motor. I'm using the German torque spec of Gutentite, and everything seemed to work out. These fit pretty well. Overall, I do like how they are angled on here. They still allow some airflow under it to escape from the heat shields, but everything that's coming back towards your leg here, I believe, is covered. It's got that insulation inside of it, and it's just blocking the airflow. We're gonna go ahead and reinstall our 10mm bolt from the fairing here, put our seat back on, and this bike is ready to ride. All right, well, that was actually pretty easy. And like I said, only $28 for this set. This is something that I believe this bike needs to have. It is rather warm otherwise, and evident by the new 700, the 2025 year model, coming with this from the factory. I think Moto Morini knows it needs this. This is a refinement that makes this bike just a little bit better, and it was actually pretty easy to install. Negative points for no instructions. Obviously, they want you to go to a dealership like every other brand does. I don't fault them for that, but for what this bike is and the price point, I believe DIYers are really going to be attracted to it, and because of that, I think instructions would have been really welcomed. Hopefully, you guys have found this useful. I will timestamp the actual installation, that way you guys can find it pretty quickly in this video. But we're gonna go ahead and take this out, and I'll report back to let you know exactly how it is with these things installed. Is it really better, and is it worth your time?
2 hours later.
So we just took the bike out for a little 10-mile or so test ride, just to see exactly how well those new heat shields are doing. And this is my honest feedback. For $28, these things are fantastic. I think it's really hard to beat that, and I think these things should have come from the factory. They should have been considered. And luckily with the new 2025 X-Cape 700, they are included from the factory, so clearly Moto Morini does care. They do listen to customer feedback, and they are improving. But if you have one of these Moto Morini X-Cape 650s, this is an absolutely must-have item. $28, at least here in the US at this time, for the set of them. They're pretty easy to install, DIY, and they push all that hot air that was coming right at your thighs well down below, a little bit towards your feet, so you do feel it. It doesn't get rid of it entirely, but it makes it a whole lot more manageable while riding. If you guys have any other requests for modifications or different additions to this bike, let me know in the comments below. What I want to do is basically keep this bike mostly stock and just test it over the course of a year and see how reliable it really is. As always, I'm Chris. This is 4K Motoring. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and like for more content, and we'll catch you next time.